Hi, this is Lisa Rangel with Chameleon Resumes, premier executive resume writing company, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, today we're going to talk about a touchy subject, ghosting, getting ghosted by recruiters. So, I want to give a backdrop, certainly not an excuse. It's never okay to be ghosted by a recruiter or a candidate ghosting a recruiter. It's never okay on either side. But I'm going to give you 3 reasons why recruiters may ghost candidates after the initial reach out. So we're going to talk specifically about that initial reach out. This isn't, you've interviewed 5 times and now you get ghosted at the end. That's honestly another video for another day. But today we're going to talk about 3 reasons, 3 rationales as to why recruiters may ghost a candidate after that initial reach out. Now, again, I want to just state clearly, it's never okay to get ghosted at any stage in the process. It's never okay, early, mid, or late into an interview process. And it's not okay by either party, right? Because although we're talking about recruiters ghosting candidates today, I can tell you that candidates ghost recruiters as well. And it's not okay on either side. But today we're going to talk specifically about 3 reasons why it happens, why recruiters ghost candidates after that initial reach out. So that's typically the complaint, right? A candidate's like, they reached out to me and I said I'm interested, and then they went away and they never responded back. And I don't get it. They reached out to me. Completely legitimate question and completely legitimate frustration. So I just want to shed some light on that. So the first reason is that recruiter is probably using automation to reach out to you. And, that automation may be a 4-letter word to some people, but it's a necessity in life nowadays. I mean, I use automation to send an email to, a few thousand people every day. I couldn't manually email a few thousand people a day to send my daily email. So automation is not bad, right? It's just a matter of using it well and using it ethically, right? But the rationale behind that person using automation to do the reach out, sometimes that automation as to how they calibrate who is getting it isn't done very well. It's not done very tightly. And they may send out that reach out to you, that automated reach out to you, and you are not their target market. You may express interest, but then in you expressing interest, they read your profile and they realize you are not their target market after the fact. Again, not cool, but this is why it's happening. The right way to respond to that would to give you some resources, own up to the fact that they made a mistake in reaching out and just not ghost somebody. Some people aren't capable of doing that, so instead they ghost. But realize that it's not a physical person choosing to reach out to you, and then in turn, when you reply, they're not replying back. That's not happening typically. What's happening is you were part of a search based on certain parameters that were very loosely and even some cases poorly defined. The outreach message went out. You probably shouldn't have gotten it. And even though you responded, they're realizing after the fact that you're not the target market. So that's reason number 1, why they may ghost you after initially reaching out to you. The second reason is because they're using automation, right? The second reason is also under the guise of they're probably using automation. They received a bunch of responses back already before you responded. And that could be done even with a manual outreach, right? Maybe they cut and pasted to 200 people and, 50 people responded, and now you're number 51 and they don't need any more candidates to explore through. So whether it is manual or automation, although I do think most of the time it's automation, even with the second piece, they've already received enough is the second reason. And so they don't get back to you because they've already received enough. And instead of getting back to you saying, hey, we already received enough applicants, thank you for replying back, they just don't do it either because they don't have time or they don't like delivering bad news. That's, another reason why people don't do things is because they don't like delivering bad news. They'd rather just avoid it. Again, not okay, just giving you a reason What I could tell you is not happening, is that they only reached out to you, you're expressing interest, and now they're going, I don't want to get back to them. That is not happening, right? So don't make it more personal than it is my advice with that. And then, a third reason why this could be happening is, especially if it's happening on LinkedIn, right? The LinkedIn outreach, the LinkedIn message box has become a logistical nightmare. It is between, spam messages, responses, especially if they're using automation, it compounds the effect of the LinkedIn message box being very difficult to manage. You can't sort things, very readily. You can't, it's just, you can make something read when you meant to keep it unread very easily, and then it's just lost in the abyss. You'll never see it again because you can't sort it by unread anymore because it's read. So your message response may have just gotten lost in that LinkedIn message abyss because, like I'm telling you, the LinkedIn message inbox has become very, very unruly to manage. Again, not okay, but at least it's not, I can tell you what's probably not happening is that they read it and went, we're just not going to answer them. I guarantee that is not the case in most cases. So these are just 3 rationales as to why when someone proactively reaches out to you and you respond back and then they don't answer you, these are 3 reasons why it could be happening. And so the key is just to keep this in mind, because it's easy to make it personal. And while it's still frustrating and disappointing, the added layer of they're doing this to me personally just makes things harder for you as the candidate. So I just want to make sure that you have that insight and you have that light shed on what's happening on the other side, most likely. And again, it's not excusing any poor practices. I'm not going to say behavior, because I don't think a lot of these things are being done purposefully to hurt people. I do believe, like every other profession, most people in the recruiting profession are good. I was one of those. And as well as I think most people in the resume profession and job landing coaching profession are good. I think I'm one of those too. So, it's just not taking it personally to try to help you as a candidate reserve some of that mental strength then for putting yourself out there and not trying to make something seem personal when it's not. So I hope this helps you. If you like what you hear, I'm going to ask you to like this video. If you know of someone who can use this insight, I'm going to ask you to share it with them. If you haven't registered or subscribed to the channel yet, I'm going to ask you to subscribe to the channel, or if you're on LinkedIn, ring the bell so you don't miss next week's video or my next posts. And if you have a question, feel free to email me at lr@chameleonresumes.com or message me or comment below. I do my best and pride myself on getting back to every email, message, and post. Despite that LinkedIn message box being a little bit unruly, I do my best. So that's pretty much it today, and stay strong and reach out if you need clarity on something, and let's help each other out. Take good care.